Powerlifting Championships 2022. Presented by Alanko and SBD, we are live from Sun City, South Africa, in this, the 50th anniversary year of the IPF. My name is Joe Whiteley. I'm here with the one and only Ryan Lapadat, and we have the 63 kilo women's class for you here today. Ryan, we've seen some incredible lifting so far this week.
We have. I should probably get this announcement right out of the way because a lot of people are tuning in for this. The returning world champion, one of our biggest stars, Leah Bavois, has actually missed weight. Star Francis obviously impacts Leah greatly, impacts Team France greatly in terms of collecting points. That was 12 points they were likely to grab, and definitely impacts the 63 kilo division because guess what, Joe? Now all of a sudden, Kiara Bernardi from Italy, the number 2 nomination, the current junior world champion in 63s, has become a favorite to potentially win the Open and punch her ticket to Sheffield. But she has a rival coming out of Italy with Sarinaldi, of course, USA's Megan Scalin, Eva Shelton, Britain's Annie Nelson. It is so close now, not just for a podium finish, but now the actual world title is up for grabs, and potentially, if they can come within 95% of the world record, a Sheffield ticket as well. This is even more important a battle.
Well, we thought this would be the Leah Bavois show because, you know, it has been in the past. But as you say, I'm sure you walked through the back room as I did a few minutes before coming on. And the energy in the back room is now everyone's kind of looking at each other going, oh, we didn't expect this. What does this mean? Where does this leave us? And we do, as you say, we have the Kiara Bernardi Sarinaldi battle. So Kiara Bernardi won in Halmstad, but Sarinaldi won at the Europeans. So this goes back and forth and back and forth. But Iris Scholten was the silver medalist last year. So she's going to be looking to move up a place as well. And as we look down the nominated openers, Megan Scanlon in the lead. So we do not know how this will go.
Former world record breaker, silver medalist in the 2019 Worlds, Megan Scalin, very familiar with the World Championships, will not be overcome by the moment. As you had previously said, Eva Shelton, European 63 kilo champion, has medaled at the World Championships, and Annie Nelson, the door is now opened up for. I spoke with her brother, and he was saying, Annie's going to up her total. How close can she get it? It is literally anybody's game.
Well, she's coming through really fast. She put in an amazing performance at the British Women's. So I think she's going to really move up through the nominations now. I think she's going to finish ahead of where she nominated. But we're just about to get going now. We're going to run this as 2 groups. We have 9 lifters, I think, in Group 1, and then we'll move into the higher nominated lifters in Group 2. And we are underway. We're kicking off with Deshawn Larrymore from USVI. She's opening her squat at 127.5.
Okay, the bar is loaded at 127.5 kilos with Desean Larrymore, US Virgin Islands. Round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. We are underway. Round of applause.
So we saw Deshawn in Halmstad, I'm pretty sure. She's a big deadlifter, right?
She definitely has a serviceable deadlift.
Nice and deep. That looks like a really nice opener for Deshawn.
Blue highlights, good lift for Larrymore. 130 on the bar now, scoring Gaba, South Africa.
And hopefully everybody just plays their opening attempt selection appropriately. There's now become much more at stake. A world title, a ticket to Sheffield.
130 kilos, Gaba, South Africa.
Our local lifter now getting some support from the crowd. This is Sora Gaba, South Africa, for 130. Nice and easy there for Sora. So of course the travel is what impacts a lot of these lifters. It's a long way to come, even from Europe. I think the North American lifters have had a much longer journey, but even for the Europeans, this was a 10-11 hour flight. And air travel obviously impacts your ability to control your body weight adequately. Here's Daniella De Silva, South Africa. She's also opening with 130.
She has previously hit 147.5 kilo. Expecting this to move reasonably well for her. Obviously, being from South Africa, things like travel, time zone change, and all the foods she's familiar with. It helps a lot. 3 white lights, and she's on the board and moved exactly as you expect an opener to move.
And we have Amy Lee Owen coming out next from New Zealand.
137.5 kilos, Owen, New Zealand.
As we've said before, it's great to have the Australians and the Kiwis back. I don't think we've seen Amy Lee before at an international. She's opening her squat with 137.5. So she's been asked to replace the bar. So I didn't quite catch what the referee said to her. But this is why you don't want your setup to be a 50-second long setup, because if you're asked to replace the bar.
And still hit.
But with 6 seconds to go, she got the command and she got the squat on the board. I'm sure I heard her coach shouting. They usually shout cues from the side. Could have sworn I heard him shout smile. And she came up with the squat. I'm sure I must have heard that wrong.
Well, enjoy the moment and have fun.
I do really love to see the lifters enjoying it. It's such a high stress situation that it is difficult to enjoy it in the moment.
And just a note, as we do have Leah Bavois out of the field, the winner of this IPF World Championships in the 63 kilo class needs to hit 521 kilo total to qualify to be invited to Sheffield.
That's a big total, and of course that comes off the 548 that Leah Bavois set in both the 63s and the 69s. But here we have Arna Gunadote from Iceland. A little bit wobbly on the way up, but the weight wasn't too much problem. Successful with 137.5.
But this field is just so tight. There'll be no freebie third attempts to go YOLO on a potential Sheffield pull.
Well, I wonder if everyone's revised the plan now.
It's a quick revision, but it's got to be on the forefront of your mind.
Jana Alanko, Finland, next for 145. Just a reminder, these are all 63 kilo lifters. We're running as 2 groups, with all of group 1 doing all 3 squats, and then we'll have the second group come out to do all 3 squats. And the big news for this session is Leah Bavois, Priscilla Bavois, is out. She did not make weight. Nice depth, easy up.
I can tell you right now, so Kiara Bernardi, the current junior world champion, has a nominated total of 500.5 kilos, but she has hit 507.5. 521 isn't the craziest of asks in terms of and when you're junior, gains come quickly.
They do.
It is realistic.
We have Sai Laleem from Belgium now for 147.5. She's swinging on that bar.
Nicely done.
Think about where you are today and what kind of jumps you want to make. Gina Bakke Bolstad from Norway. opening her squat with 157.5.
Gina has previously hit 170.5 kilo. Judging by that number, she's a squat national record holder back in Norway. See how close she gets to that mark here at the Worlds.
Nice to see everyone getting their opener in.
So far, so good. Let's hope all the drama happened before the start. But with this many...
Denmark, 165 on the bar. Not a Danish name. I tried to pronounce it in a Danish way. They told me it was Armenian.
Gotcha. Makes sense. I recognize Emma. I think I've seen her at the Worlds before.
Easy.
Yeah, very well done for an opener.
Yeah, she actually took the gold in squat. She squatted 180 at the Europeans in December.
And was she in Homestead, Sweden?
She was in Homestead too.
Thought so. And I think double duty.
Now we are through to the second round. This is Deshawn Larrymore, USVI. She's gone up 5. This is 132.5. Little bit of effort. Decent looking second. So Ryan, I know you've spoken to Leah this week. Did she have a sense that she was over, that she was having difficulty?
Leah Babwa usually walks around about 65, only as a 65-point-something kilo lifter, so she isn't normally that much heavier over the weight limit. That's why this is somewhat surprising. She doesn't do the hero cuts you hear like Jessica Bittner is known for instance.
We have Sora Gaba coming out for a second at 140, South African lifter. Always a great opportunity when the World Championships comes to your country to field a big team. Good opportunity to develop new lifters into international lifters. Yeah,
we've seen a lot of lifters from South Africa and the continent of Africa just in general. Helps grow the sport.
Nice lift. She's looking up at the board, but that was a great lift. Arna Gunas Iceland for 142.5.
She's previously hit 147.5. 5 kilo below that. This is 5 kilo over her opener. See how this moves, and she might be setting herself up for a personal best third attempt. And we're moving relatively quickly. Spotters and loaders are hustling and bustling today. Ooh, knees came in. Can she force him back out? She did. That
just about
seemed like a long time for me watching. I'm sure it felt like an eternity for her.
One red light from the center referee for depth. It can often just really, really heavy. She did well to grind through that, but I wouldn't say there was too much left.
No, I'd have to agree with you. It's unless she misgrouped or something, we're nearing the end.
Daniella De Silva, also from South Africa, 142.5. You often see a little bit, when you've got two lifters from the same country in the same class, you often see a little bit of rivalry within the team.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, you see each other at the Nationals, you're fighting for team selection. In this case, it took you both. You don't know that when you're at Nationals. You often have the same common goals, and only one of you can get it. That's going to be borderline on depth. What do you think, Joe?
I'm not certain. I'd like to see the side view. No, that's not in.
That's a fair call.
So you can see the little red lights below the main red lights, and that indicates a red card failure, and a red card in squat is up. Each country can only field a team of 8 lifters, 8 women, 8 men. So that's 1 per weight class. but you can have a maximum of 2 lifters in a weight class per country. So you might take 2 93s and leave out an 83. Lee Owen, New Zealand, 145.
There's Rory Lynch working with Team New Zealand. Saw him this morning. He said, "We're going to have a long day today, my friend." I agree. It's already been dramatic. Is she just not upright enough?
Upright. So her knees look locked to me, so maybe she's tipped over. You must be upright at the start of the squat. She's going to be under some time pressure now. She needs to get under that bar. I think
she started before the buzzer, right? Ah, she's nodding her head. Yes, what a dramatic second attempt.
Yeah. So the blue card in squat is downward movement of the bar or soft lockout.
Let's see the lockout. A little wobbly, perhaps? No, not locking the knees?
Maybe not upright. I'm not certain, if I'm honest. I don't think there's any downward movement of the bar, so it must have been lockout, but whether that was at the start or the end, I'm not sure. So the head referee will give the start command if the consensus among the referees, so 2 out of 3 referees think the start position is good, but if there's one referee still left with his hand in the air, so he doesn't think the start position is good, he'll have to give a red light. Jana Alanko next, Finland, 152.5. Now, she needs to be careful that isn't interpreted as downward movement of the bar.
That's right.
The rule does say downward movement during the ascent of the squat, but I know a lot of referees do interpret that as if it's a bounce at the top, they will fail it. Sai Laleem Belgium, 155 on the bar.
This will match her previous personal best.
The rankings you see on the top bar of the graphic there are a little bit premature because this is only the first of 2 groups of 63s. I wonder what that little laugh's all about.
Yeah, I was going to say, is that just, wow, that was a little easier than I thought it was going to be? Or sometimes you see some ambitious second attempts and they start looking like thirds.
Gina Bolstad, Norway. Take a look at the graphic that's on your screen at the moment. It shows you the weight class and age class in the top left, the country and the name along the middle, and the lifts will populate along the bottom bar as we go through the competition. Strong. She does show a lot of knee cape, but that's just the style of some lifters. You know, we know Lee Bavois is a fantastic squatter, and she does have a bit of knee cape too. So sometimes that's just the style and how they're strongest.
Yeah, even Amanda Lawrence, she's got some knee cape, and she's probably... You know.
Emma Arusiak Badalian from Denmark, 172.5. We're getting into some big weights now.
$7.5 kilo below her personal best. Let's see if she's going to go for a new PB. Oh, I would be confident to load up a PB for her.
Yeah, definitely. That was a fast descent, but yeah, looking easy for a second. And we are already through to the 3rd round of squat in the first flight, and this is Deshawn Larrymore coming out for 140. 10 kilo PB attempt.
We are beginning the 3rd round for flight 1. Bar is loaded, 140 kilos, Larrymore, US Virgin Islands. 6 attempts, the change flight 2 openers, 6 attempts.
brakes came on quick, though, Joe.
Yeah, that just did not seem to want to go. But a 10 kilo PB on the international stage is a big ask. And she walks away with 132.5 on squat. Counting Leah Bavois, maybe they were all just thinking Leah's going to be out in front anyway. So maybe this doesn't change anything from them. Maybe they were already just thinking about each other in the battle.
That's probably true. I mean, they were looking at each other. The one thing that, the motivation-wise, in terms of when I walk in the back and I say, now it's for the world title and a ticket to Sheffield, I could tell you there's already people talking about it. Yeah. It's hard to ignore.
It is. Here's Daniella De Silva, 142.5 on the bar. She missed this last time for depth, and I'm not sure that's deeper. But the referees did think it was deeper. That's 2-1, a good lift.
But you are right. Strategically speaking, need this. Stakes are higher, so that should motivate you more.
When it's for the world title, you just have that little bit extra to pull for the win. Sora Gaba now, 145. Masters lifter competing in the Open.
Just to explain Sheffield, we keep alluding to SBD has an invitational event being held next year, 2023, in the first quarter. And the prize money is just phenomenal. 25,000 British pounds for the winner, potentially up to 40,000 British pounds in one day. That's
I think the total prize pot is 365,000 GBP. That was no lift for Sora Gaba. So the total prize pot, because I believe there's a prize for winning, a prize is for break qualify. They'll get an invite to Sheffield. So does this mean Leah Bavoil's never missed out on her invitation?
Yeah, you win the World Championships and come within 95% of the current world record, and that'll punch your ticket to Sheffield. There are other ways they're going to take people via region as well.
And I think there's some wild card.
There's the wild card.
Okay, we have Amy Lee Owen, New Zealand, 145 on her back right now. Missed this last time. And that is a good lift, 2-1. So whatever issues she had with her start position, she corrected. She got that on the board.
So here's the Classic Open world record. Second, top performing athlete from each unrepresented IPF region in the IPF World Open Classic Championships in 2022.
And that by region, that's continent, right?
Yes.
Arne Gunas now, 145.
And then, of course, there are the wild card slots that you had alluded to, selected by SBD.
So that was no lift for Arna, but she didn't leave anything behind there. She got 142.5, missed 145. So she got every kilo she was capable of on the day. And we have Jana Alanko coming out next for 5 kilo up from her second. And that looks just a little too heavy today.
Little too much. I will update a bit more information on Sheffield. Total prize fund, 365,000 British pounds. That's in British pounds. Just shy of $50,000 USD. And for
That's
a world
big payout.
It's a massive payout in one day. And for a world record, 5,000 British pounds, a little over 6,000 USD. It is a phenomenal opportunity for all these athletes put on by SBD.
And I believe SBD flies the athletes in, puts them up.
Coaching staff flies people in, and the production is supposed to be top-notch. Everyone's excited.
So we have Sai Laleem from Belgium for 160 right now. I think she matched her PB last time. The weight was easy. Was it deep? Prize money competitions, the athlete has to pay to fly there and for their hotel accommodation and food. So even if you do get a few $1,000s, you've probably spent nearly that getting there.
Yeah, when you have money meets and the prizes, here's a check for $2,500, but your flight, hotel accommodations, and everything is $2,000. It's
Yeah,
well,
it's not
thank
so
you.
great.
Yeah.
So SBD are covering all those costs for the athletes that make the grade and get an invitation.
It's a legitimate professional powerlifting meet, the biggest we have available in our sport. It means a lot.
Gina Bakke-Bolstad, Norway, 172.5 on the bar. And it's slow, but she's no. Do you know? I thought she was going to grind through that, but it wasn't quite there.
Started helicoptering on her, and you want the bar passed straight up, straight down. That's where you're going to be your strongest and obviously best for balance. Once it starts veering, and in the third attempt, Joe, we've only had 2 successful.
Well, we know that this is Emma Badalian from Denmark, and we know she's done 180 before. She did it at the Europeans in Västerås, Sweden.
Can she turn it back and throw some more green on the scoreboard?
But of course, she was close to home in Sweden. Had to travel a long way to get to South Africa. And it was a dive bomb, and I think it was just a bit too loose at the bottom.
I'm sorry, that is no lift. That is no lift.
Leaves her with best of 172.5, which is a shame because I think she would have been challenging for squat medals in the overall from the beat.
Potentially again in the 83s. Kafui Hochoyami ended off with a very big deadlift, and he's broken IPF world records with that deadlift, so it happens.
Stina Lindell, Finland, for 157.5. We are into the B group now, the second flight of 63 kilo lifters. And just a reminder, if you tuned in late, Leah Bavois is out of the competition.
She missed weight and will not be competing. I don't know if she just wanted to sink it deep because it's an opener. I think she went maybe deeper than she needed. Yeah, she definitely did. So maybe it's just nerves. It's light because it's opening weight light, and she just did more she needed. She can adjust for a second when it gets heavier.
So here we have the British lifter, Annie Nelson.
And this is Dylan's twin sister, am I right? That's what Dylan told me.
He does tell you some porkies.
It's not real.
It absolutely is not.
Okay, we're going to have words when I see him. Oh, Dylan, when I see you.
Annie is a Scottish lifter. Dylan's from the northeast. So here's Annie Nelson, the British women's.
And she's in the mix. If she can close the gap, you know, there's going to be a lot of women now pushing for that world title. And if somebody starts missing, Annie is in a great opportunity. She goes 9 for 9. You never know.
She's got a handy deadlift, and she has been improving so fast. She's been coming up through the ranks.
Mentioning the deadlift, yeah, amongst this pack, she's at the upper end with that deadlift.
Yeah. Sidney Belden, now from Norway, for 162.5. A little bit shaky at the bottom, but the weight came up very well. She just missed the podium in Halmstad.
Emily is very strong. Put on a show at the Canadian Nationals. We're actually from the same hometown as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, same with 83 kilo Kafui Hochoyame. Canadian champion as well.
Well, she made that look very easy.
162.5 remains.
Big journey here for her first international.
And Pantea, another lifter that is definitely in the mix. Similar nomination as Annie. The advantage Annie has is that aforementioned deadlift, which is going to come in handy when they're pulling for position. But Pantea, if she can keep close, she might ruin someone's day.
That was very careful and controlled, the very definition of just in, and came up very well. In the juniors last year. This is Kiara Bernardi, 165 on the bar.
Won the Junior World Championships last year. And what a story, her first year in the Open, if she could add the Open title as well and end up in Sheffield. Of course, she needs to hit that 521 total to be 95% of the current world record. It's possible.
Yeah, well, as you say, she's hit 505.5 at Italian Nationals last September.
Smooth for her opening squat.
Nice and easy, didn't tire herself out too much with that. And next out we have her teammate and close rival, Sarinaldi.
Another excellent lifter, and Italy is really coming up. If you like 63-kilo lifters, you're going to like the Italian Nationals, because you might have heard of Carola Gara, world champion in and out of equipment. She's now focusing on the World Games, so missing out on the Classic.
But these two, Chiara and Sara and Carola Gara, are the top 3 ranked lifters in Italy, all in the 63s.
And amongst the top, with Leah Bavois, in the top 4 worldwide, there's a bit of a bottleneck coming out of Italy. Wonder if someone eventually move into a different weight class.
Nice.
Good lift for Naldy. 170 on the bar now.
So I'm just looking at body weight because we might get down to those sort of levels.
Absolutely.
And Naldy is lighter than Bernardi. It's so close on some of those projected totals.
It is.
And here we have Megan Scanlon, 170. Haven't seen her for a while.
Yeah, you know what? So in 2019, obviously she appeared on Team USA, broke world records in the squat, got a big subtotal, tries to hang on for the win in the deadlifts. Took a silver medal then. COVID locked us down. 2021 didn't show, and now here she is back, contending for a world title.
That's a lovely squat. And I think she only lost to Maria Tip.
Ever Open World Champion in a dramatic fashion, missing her second deadlift, coming back, hitting the same weight in her third, and made us all proud. A story I probably told before.
It was a phenomenal deadlift too. She kind of pulled it and then morphed herself into lockout around the bar. So here we have Iris Scholten from Netherlands for 182.5. Silver medalist last year.
Yeah, the current European 63-kilo champion, world's medalist, well-traveled, and here is a huge opportunity for her.
Quite long-limbed for a squatter, so she's got that narrow stance, front-forward style, and that was very easy.
A phenomenal squatter, a bit of a subtotal. She's got a serviceable deadlift, but we have some monster deadlifts in the pack.
I'm just looking at the nominated totals.
Her subtotal, if the meet stops before the deadlift starts, she would be the world champion almost every year.
So we've got the standings on the screen for you at the moment, with Iris Scholten leading from Megan Scanlon from Sarinaldi. And we're through to the second round, and here comes Stina Lindell from Finland for 160. Almost up, so a pause squat gives me a lot of stability. It may be the same for the finish lifter, but that was a good lift for her. And we have Pante at super nets for 167.5 coming out next.
It was also a 2.5 kilo jump, which is relatively small in the squat event. Perhaps the opener felt a little heavier than she had suspected.
Yeah, maybe so.
And it's good to adjust. Pantea needs to add some kilos onto that total. If she can go 6 for 6 heading into deadlifts, she could be a problem for these other ladies.
2-1, a good lift. One of these side referees was not happy with the depth, and that is the side referee on the
A good sign with one more squat still to go.
Stina Belden from Norway for 170. Five kilo PB already. Strong.
3 weights, and it's good.
Well, she went up 7.5 kilos from her opener. What would you think for her next?
People are fast squatters, some people are slower squatters, but
Emily Zerlinden, Canada. 170 on the bar.
this is going to match her personal best, but her training has been going very well.
Now the attempts coming up are very closely packed, so this will move her up to third temporarily.
Yeah,
nice.
And that was a personal best at one point, and now it's a casual second. Yeah, I think that's going to be the theme of the day, is we're closely packed. That's just how competitive this class has become all of a sudden, and they're not closely packed for silver and bronze. It's for all the marbles.
I think right into Dylan Nelson.
Yeah, we're going to have words, my friend.
But a great lifter coming up through the ranks. I think the British team that we've sent this year is the strongest we've ever had.
Well, we crowned a British champion, a world champion from Britain yesterday in Joy Namani. Will we be crowning more?
It would be great to see. We haven't had so many open world champions. Good lift for Annie. Kiara Bernardi is coming out next for 175. She's gone up 10.
Still operating below her personal best of 183, and I would assume the 183 probably isn't her top end anymore. But we're going to have to see. 175 will be a good indication, good range feeler. You know, this is the opportunity of a lifetime for all these ladies. The door of opportunity is swung open.
That's a great positive pop out of the racks.
It is.
Great feeling. Always gives confidence when it comes out of the racks like that and feels light on your back. That helped me out a lot.
And what do you think about a third attempt, though?
I think there's some effort to do. I can't see it going up 10 for a new PB. I think take the kilos that are there. I would put 5 on it.
And if we're not talking new personal bests, and some of these other ladies are talking personal bests, are we looking at her total's going to drop? And if it does, we all know the implications. I don't want to get ahead of ourselves, but these are conversations that have to be had.
And they're going to need every kilo. This is Sarinaldi, 177.5. And yes, Bernardi put in 180. I think that's the right call.
Probably appropriate.
Oh, Sarinaldi just made a mistake at the bottom there. Yeah, I think it did just dip a bit. So that's a shame. That's going to put a real crimp in her plan now. Leaves her back in 8th on squat rather than moving her ahead to 2nd. That's how tightly packed the field is. And we've got Megan Scanlon now for 180.
What a story it would be. Megan Scalin going into the 2019 World Championships was heavily favored. Had the world title all but locked up until that Hail Mary pass by Maria T. What if she comes back today to clinch a world title and ends up in Sheffield? A miraculous comeback.
That would be quite the story. We do find that the American ladies do have a much bigger bench than Europeans. I think it's incorporated into training much earlier. We don't have bench in high schools like they do in a lot of places in the States. And I think that's why we see a much bigger bench coming in from a lot of the American teams than the Europeans. Iris Scholten from Netherlands for 192.5. Is this a PB?
It is, yeah.
Yeah, she's done 190 before.
And this is what I'm saying. If some of these ladies are on point hitting personal bests, their nomination totals are going up. And some of these ladies might be going down. We got to keep an eye on that. Oh, whoa.
She's got more.
And here's the thing. So, what are we talking about here? Maybe she's got 521 in the tank today.
Maybe she has. She's projected at 485 right now, but that's only based on her opening bench and opening deadlift.
It's conceivable.
It is. The standings we've got on the screen at the moment, Scholten from Scanlon from Bernardi, with Nelson only just behind.
Bar is loaded, 162.5 kilos, Lindell, Finland.
As we move into the third and final round of squats in the 63 kilo category, Stina Lindell is coming out for 162.5. I'm just waiting to see what Iris is going to put in for her third.
I know.
197.5.
Waiting with bated breath.
A little bit shy of Leah Bavois' world record at 205. And there we have Stina Lindell doing her pause squat again, but not deep enough.
I'm wondering where Shelton might end up. Meg Scanlon as well.
Yeah, that was 172.5 for her third and final squat. That's a very well judged third attempt. And a great lift for Supernets.
175 over now for Sidney Belden, Norway.
Sidney Belden from Norway is now coming out for 175. 5 kilo increase.
And coming into the competition, 165 was her previous best. Well beyond that now.
Good lift.
Lets out a war cry as she locks it out. Goes 3 for 3 in the squat event.
Sarinaldi, Italy. Second attempt to this weight. Bar is loaded.
And Sarinaldi. Now she made, it looked to me just like a technical error at the bottom, but the bar dipped. She looked strong under it, but the bar went up and down, so it was turned down by the referees.
It's a little surprising. So her previous personal best is 185 kilo. Neither of the Italians are going to leave the squat event meeting their previous personal best.
So she's on the board, but I think she may have, she may have been going for.
She's lost a little bit of ground.
Third, yeah. So she's gone up to third now, with 5 lifts still to go. And we have Emily Zerlinden, who's looking great today. She's increased by 77.5. I think they've smelled an opportunity here.
Yeah, I think a lot of the ladies realize what's in front of them.
And of course, there's a great coaching team from Canada here with Jeff Butts and Garrett Bentley.
Jeff is among the best. Same with Garrett.
Oh, look at the fight there. Looked like it was going to fail, and she kept driving through. Oh. Yeah, it did dip.
Did it? Okay, well, I didn't
Yeah.
see it dipping, but I'm also Canadian.
Okay.
My eyes go blind on
Well,
me sometimes.
it did look to me as though it dipped, and 3 other referees thought so too. So here comes Annie Nelson. She's fired up.
$180 kilos. She's hit 180.5.
Kiara Bernardi, Italy. Again, shooting for that coveted bronze medal in the squat.
So that's a shame. That would have moved Annie up a long way. But here's Kiara Bernardi sitting in 4th. This will move her up to 3rd ahead of Naldy.
It's not a personal best, but it's only 3 kilos shy. All is not lost, obviously. It's important just to go 3 for 3, move forward. You lose a couple kilo off your squat. Maybe she gains some kilos on the deadlift and the bench. There's plenty of lifting left to go.
And I think she's got it.
Yeah, that was a nice squat.
Next out we have Megan Scanlon, who is guaranteed the silver. In fact, yeah, she's going to get the silver. She can't move up, but no one can take it away now.
Looking at the projected, if she gets this, add this 185 with her opening bench and opening deadlift. She's at 502.5. Do the math. We're not that far off that 521, and that would probably be the winning number for the world title as well.
So she's done this weight before.
There's a lot riding on these lifts. But is it there today? Nope.
No, it looked like she said no and then gave it another try.
She's like,
but that
nope.
was not there. But she has the silver medal. And the silver medal in squats obviously means you're in 2nd place going into the rest of the competition. Just a bit too much.
Bar is loaded. 197.5 kilos. Iris Skelton, Netherlands.
Iris Skelton, Netherlands, for massive 197.5.
Iris has a great opportunity here. Is it a golden opportunity? That looks good.
Oh,
nope.
no, not quite.
Sorry, that is no live. No live for Shelton. And that
And
concludes the squat rounds. There'll be a 10-minute
take
break.
another look at this. Didn't
Yeah,
really get
she looked great on a second, but she goes up and she just wobbled backwards. It looked like she lost her balance a little, which is a shame, but she still takes the gold. Annie Nelson slipping back to 8th after being up in 4th place. We're going to take a 10-minute break and we'll see you back here for bench. Presented by Aleco and SBD, we are live from Sun City, South Africa. We are partway through the 63 kilo class, and the big news today is Leah Bavois is out.
Leah Bavois, the reigning 63 kilo queen, also moved up to the 69 kilo class, breaking world records there, missed weight, and now the door has completely swung open for the rest of the ladies of the world, not only to clinch the world title, but potentially punch their ticket to SBD Sheffield in 2023.
I can't remember the last time a reigning world champion missed weight and couldn't defend.
Extremely rare case. This is an amazing opportunity for these ladies, and it just so happens the rest of the field is extremely close. In terms of all of their lifts, it's going to be a battle for the individual medals, and in the total, it's going to come down to the very last deadlift. Attempt selection is going to be key by these national team coaches to get the most out of their lifters. We've already seen some people hit personal bests, some people miss, and some people play the steady, secure game, going 3 for 3 and getting kilos towards their total.
You have the standings on the screen at the moment. So we've only had squats so far, and Iris Schalten from Netherlands is leading the way with 192.5, with Megan Scanlon and Kiara Bernardi both on 180. But you can see how close it is as you look down the field there with only 2 kilos, 2.5 kilos. In fact, all the way back to 9th place, there's only about 10 kilos separating 2nd to 9th.
There is seriously no room. There's no room for error unless they all start making some errors here and there and the field still stays even.
And this comes down to who gets all their lifts in. So we're running 2 flights. This is the first flight, opening with Daniela De Silva from South Africa with 65 kilos. PB 70. A little bit shaky. It took her a moment to get the press command because the bar was skipping about on her chest. And she got a red light from
The wrong.
Yeah, I saw her tap her
Really?
hip. Yeah, that's unusual. But anyway, we have Deshawn Larrymore from USVI now for 67.5. Maybe I misinterpreted the gesture. Deshawn is right up against her current best of 70. Nice and easy, she's on the board.
Sai Laleem Belgium.
And here comes Sai Laleem Belgium for 77.5 to open her bench.
Everything good?
Nice opener for Sai. Emma Badalian from Denmark is coming out next for 80 kilos.
Bar is loaded, 80 kilos. Badalian, Denmark.
8-year veteran of the game, has previously hit 87.5.
Fast to the chest brings it to a dead stop. Gets you the press command really quickly. And that's a good lift.
Excellent control.
Jana Alanko, Finland, opening with 80.
Well, makes easy work of that.
Good lift, 2 to 1 for Alanko, 83.5 on the bar now. And Gunas.
I was just looking at the centre referee who was explaining what the red light was for, but I couldn't really get a sense of it.
I didn't see an infraction on the slow-mo replay, but
Bar is loaded, 82.5 kilos, Gunas,
Arne Gunadote from Iceland. 82.5 on the bar. So this is she flared quite early there. She had to put some effort in for an opener.
Good lift, the white light to Gunas, 85 on the bar now.
so far so good, though, in terms of these openers. Nobody's miscalculated.
It's good to see.
Bar is loaded, 85 kilos.
Gina Bakke-Bolstad from Norway now for 85. She's done 92.5. So next,
In fact, I think I'll take a second and increase this pause.
well, the referee's command tells you that you have the opportunity to go. It's not a command to start right away.
This is true.
Sora Gaba, South Africa for 87.5.
Uh-oh.
Now,
Sorry, that is no lift for Gaba.
She's hitting 90.5.
On the bar now,
so that was a high opener then at 87.5.
When you're within, 3 kilo of the best,
Looked too heavy. Lee Owen now, New Zealand, 92.5.
I'll give Garber this. She is from South Africa, so no variables like travel, time zone change, etc. So maybe she's a little overconfident. But
Hard to come back from if it's too heavy though. In raw bench,
I mean,
in equipped bench, you've got all manner of options.
yeah, we'll have to see.
Did not make a successful bench in the first round. And as we move into the second round, Daniella De Silva from South Africa is going to lead us out with 67.5.
Bar is loaded. 67.5 kilos. Dani De Silva, South Africa.
A little down up off the chest, but see what the judges.
What the issue is for.
Bar is loaded. 70 kilos.
But 2-1, that was a good lift. Deshawn Larrymore, USVI. Gone up to 70, taken quite a conservative jump. Good lift for Deshawn.
3 white lights.
3.5 of the bar now. Sai Laleem Belgium. Bar is loaded. 82.5 kilos. Laleem Belgium.
Here comes Sai Laleem for 82.5. It's a tough one for a second.
Slow and steady, though. I think she'll get it. And she does. 2-1. That's all she needs.
On the bar now for Emma Badalian, Denmark.
So maybe she can squeeze another 2.5 out. But here's Emma Badalian from Denmark for 85.
She's hit 87.5. Depending how this moves, maybe that'll be her third. If it moves good, we might see a new personal best.
That is 2-1, a good lift for Emma.
On the bar for Gonadote, Iceland.
So we have Gunas for an 85. Just too heavy, it looks like.
Bought herself some insurance with that 80-kilo opener.
Bar is loaded. 85
Yeah, it just would not come up for the same weight, 85.
Gaba, South Africa, second attempt.
I can see her coach explaining exactly what she did wrong to her as she leaves the platform.
Bar is loaded.
That's a sign of a good coaching staff right there. Let your lifter know.
Well, it's fresh in their mind. So here's Sora Gaba.
Easy weight now, come on.
It was just too heavy, I thought.
It depends if she just lost a little tension. It might appear heavier than it is.
Sure.
We've seen people come back out there and hit it.
So 87.5, she's done more in the past. This is her second attempt at this weight.
Now things are getting...
She doesn't seem, she's smiling as she leaves the platform. She doesn't seem too bothered, but I can't really see that she's going to be able to do that.
Now it's starting to appear, yeah, that's... Yeah, 2 goes at it, and it looks like she actually drained herself trying to get that one up.
Gina Bakker Bolstad, Norway, 90 kilos on the bar. And it's a tough butt lift, quite clearly.
Yep.
But Cam takes no prisoners. I think that's the first one we've seen, though, this session.
I believe so, yeah.
Here comes Amy Lee Owen. I've just had confirmation, actually. I thought her coach shouted smile at her on a squat, but apparently he did. She requested that cue when she was halfway up her squat.
Sometimes that's the biggest ask.
So here's 95.
That's Rory Lynch. 3 weights.
Overturned. So Bakker Bolstad, good lift. Bakker Bolstad and Owen, good lift. Round 3.
So the jury have overturned Bakker Bolstad's failure.
Daniela De Silva, South
So that's a good lift for Gina Bakker Bolstad at 90.
Bars loaded, 70 kilos, De Silva, South Africa.
And we have Daniella De Silva now for 70. This is the 3rd round of bench press in the first flight.
This will equal her previous personal best. South Africa has 2 lifters in the 63s. One of them attempting to go 3 for 3. The other has her back to the wall and hasn't got a bench in yet.
She needs to get her butt down in order to get the start command.
15 seconds.
No. It's really hard for the lifter, though, when they've replaced and they've had difficulty with their setup position. It's hard to come back from.
That's why on the 3rd attempt, you can see why it'd be difficult. In your opener, it's why you pick a weight you know you could do. If you had to set up within 5 seconds, not your usual setup, clock is running.
72.5 kilos, Larrymore, US Virgin.
Deshawn Larrymore for 2.5 kilos more than her second. 72.5 on the bar. Bit too much today.
No, sorry, no lift. No lift, USVI, 85 on the bar now. And Gunas here, second attempt at this weight for your name from Iceland. 4 attempts remain to change flag 2 openers. 4 attempts.
And next out is Gonadote from Iceland for her second attempt at 85.
Bar is loaded, 85 kilos.
Now, under different conditions, she's hit 87.5. It's a 2.5 kilo jump from her opening weight. No, and you see the room for error here. It's only 2.5 kilo over her opening weight. It can be closer than you think.
Absolutely. But she definitely took every kilo that was available on the day. And we have Jana Alanko next for 85. She missed this as well on her second.
Bar is loaded, 85 kilos.
She got immediate into the bar down too low on her chest. It was a better effort, but it's just not going to go.
Sorry, that is no lift. Belgium.
And next out, Sai Laleem Belgium. She's taken small increases from the start, gone up from 77.5 to 82.5. This is 85. Now,
Tried this twice and it's not gone up. She needs this to stay in the competition. I don't need to tell you what you need to do.
couldn't see any movement of the bar from that angle.
Everywhere, anywhere around the world. The bar is loaded. 87.5 kilos.
So here we have a lifter in real trouble. She doesn't seem terribly concerned. But this is Gaba, South Africa, for her third attempt at 87.5.
And it's happened.
And it has happened, and there are 3 reasons this can happen: opening too heavy, and opening too heavy. It's sad to see.
Well said.
No more changes, no more changes. 90 on the bar now, Emma Badalian, Denmark.
So we have Emma Badalian now from Denmark for 90 kilos. She's taken 5 kilo increases on both jumps.
So we were wondering how 85 felt if she'd go to tie her personal best or exceed it. Looks like 85 felt good.
You know, we haven't had a single successful third attempt yet.
It is a sea of red in the third attempts in the 63 kilo women's division.
No one has yet made a third attempt. Can Bolstad change it? The bar is loaded.
So maybe just a little bit of overreaching. It's hard to not want to do your best and to really excel on the world stage, but it's also difficult to put your best lifts down when you've traveled so far and everything's different and it's such a stressful environment.
That's why when we look back and Bernardi third squat just shy of her personal best might have been a good decision. Reading the play.
Here's it.
That was an extremely long fight.
Yeah, there was a lot of movement through the body. I think when we see the replay, we'll see the butt off the bench and who knows what else.
first flight, 97.5
Oh, yeah.
kilos.
Yeah.
Lee Owen, New Zealand.
So that was no lift for Bakker Bolstad, and we have Amy Lee Owen for 97.5.
Bar is loaded, 97.5 kilos for Owen, New Zealand. Come on, Amy.
Not quite there today.
Sorry, that is no lift at 97.5 for Owen.
And that's it. Nobody had gotten their third attempts.
Not a single one.
First round of the bar, 92.5 kilos, Stina Lindell.
So we move now into flight 2. And Stina Lindell from Finland is going to come out for 92.5.
Stina has previously hit 100 kilo.
Bar is loaded.
7.5 kilo below that. They should move well.
Lindell, Finland.
We have some big benchers in the 63s. And then we have Megan Scanlon, who's on a whole...
She's opening, she's put it down actually. She was opening at 127.5. She's gone down to 125, just to be sure. We are at altitude here, it's worth remembering.
Good lift, 3 white lights.
But that was a nice lift there for Lindell.
Nelson, Great Britain. Bar is loaded, 92.5 kilos, Nelson, Great Britain.
Annie Nelson next, Scottish lifter, representing Great Britain. Scotland, one of the home nations of Great Britain, or the UK I should say, the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. We have a complicated home country. But this is 92.5 for Annie Nelson. Well, bench is certainly coming on. I think that was only 2.5 kilos below her current best.
3 white lights.
Bar is loaded, 92.5 kilos for Zerlinden, Canada.
Great opener there for Annie Nelson. Emily Zerlinden now, 92.5.
Opening 3... Her training numbers have been phenomenal. And that personal best was old.
Absolutely, because she smoked that opener. Now, Sarinaldi, she struggled a little bit on squat. She's usually right up close with Kiara Bernardi, but she just couldn't get that second or third squat in. Oh, excuse me, she did get a third squat in. She missed a second.
Yeah, but I know what you mean. It set her back, her projected third
Yep.
that she wanted. She wasn't able to get on the board, which set her back a little bit, but she can cover some ground.
Card failure, which indicates it didn't touch the chest or it touched the belt, so that's an unusual one. Sidney Belden now from Norway for 102.5.
You know, of all the days to potentially have a bad day, this is not a good one.
It is not.
Not just because it's the World Championships, but your opportunity is no longer just bronze or silver like previously. It's the gold.
But unfortunately, you get the circumstances you're given, as we saw with Pani yesterday. Came in not only recovering from injury, but then got sick when he got here. Good lift for Belden. Here comes Pantea Supernets, Austria for 105. She went 3 for 3 in squats. What can she do in bench?
And she also exceeded what she had previously done in squats. Her previous best bench is 110. And it doesn't look like her best bench on this day is going to be within 5 kilo either.
Definitely go up at least 5. Now here's Kiara Bernardi. Opening with 110. She's hit 120 before. We've got her PB down as 112.5, but she definitely did 120 Italian Nationals, juniors.
Was it at 63 kilo body weight?
It was, yeah.
Well, we know her total is actually higher than the 500.5 she has down in nominations
Sure,
as well.
and the 507.5 you mentioned earlier, she did at Girl Power at 63.1 kilos body weight.
We'll spot her that 0.1, but only there, not here.
But that was a good opener for
Volatile lift.
Iris Schalten, Netherlands for 110. She's a real contender here. Trailing a little weight behind Scanlon in the projected totals. She benched 118 at Dutch Nationals in March.
Yeah, she's having a good day. She lost her third and final squat attempt, but she can gain some ground on the bench press.
But here comes the biggest opener of the session, Megan Scanlon. Now this matches her PB. She's coming out to match her own current best.
Right, and her opening deadlift also, I thought, looked high with, what she has listed, but maybe her training's gone just that well.
Sure, I only have 122.5 listed for her. That was from Powerlifting America Nationals.
Well, look, if she's having the day of her life, this is the right day to have it. Oh my goodness.
And it looks like she is.
Oh my goodness, wow. What does this mean for the rest of the field and her chances of clinching the title? It's got to be said, walking in this event, it was a bit of a... If Megan Scanlon takes this, points towards Team USA.
Sure. So Megan Scanlon is leading the bench race ahead of Kiara Bernardi, ahead of Iris Schalten. And we move into the second round with Stina Lindell for 97.5.
Lindell has hit 100 kilo. Ooh.
Wasn't easy, was it?
I'd say go up 2.5 kilo. Attempt your personal best once more.
Great Britain from the United Kingdom. The distinction is Great Britain is the main island, that is England, Scotland and Wales. So we're really from the UK, which includes the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. So I should be careful of saying Great Britain. But here's Annie Nelson for 97.5.
Oh, she's fighting for it.
And it's
Can
a
she lock it
grind.
out?
I don't think she can, unfortunately.
It was right at that lockout. Oh, so close.
That's a real shame. I wonder if she could just get really tight, get her chest up. I wonder if she can. She put in a great fight, though.
And Emily approaching the bar here, a huge smile on her face, like she already knows she has it.
And it looks like she has.
Just smoked her previous personal best, which was a Canadian national record. Can only assume she just broke another national record right there.
So is she quite a new lifter? Has she been coming through for a while?
She's been a few years in the game. It's just right now that she's come into her own, started winning national titles, making national teams, and making her first appearance to Canadian nationals. Wow.
And that looks about the same.
If she can keep that speed for her third, she might be able to add another 2.5 kilo to her total.
Sidney Belden now from Norway for 105. Only got up 2.5. I thought her opener was good, though.
And she's hit 112.5, so maybe playing a little bit safe. Maybe they didn't get the attempt card in time, and it just nudged up 2.5. I'm not sure.
Maybe so.
Oh, you know what? Huh.
Not this time for Belden. No lift at 105.
Well, maybe she went early, realised she had, came back down. Hard to really understand what happened there. Maybe she realised she'd jumped the command, or maybe the weight was so much she just had to get it off her chest. She'll get another attempt at that, and here comes Pantea Supernets with 110.
This is going to equal her personal best. Now, I think if I remember correctly, she equaled her personal best in squat, or hit a personal best in her second attempt as well. So she is pacing very well to have a person. Oh, wow.
I thought she'd hit a wall halfway up, but she kept on fighting, and she's 5 for 5.
So she secured the second attempt, matched her personal best. Obviously, only going to go up 2.5 kilo from there. Will she have it? I don't know. That was a titanic effort.
Kiara Bernardi, Italy for 115.
That is no lift. That was no lift for Bernardi.
So she gets to come out and try that again. But we have Iris Scalin from Netherlands, gone up a whole 7.5 kilos. But she did move that opener of 110 very fast.
It's a 5 kilo personal best if she can hit it. You know, this 63 kilo class is becoming very difficult to call. Some favorites are hitting, some favorites are missing.
I think we are seeing Skelton and Scanlon moving out ahead, though, leaving the rest behind. But there's going to be a scrap for that third place.
Yeah, because you're right, and the thing is, Scanlon, historically speaking, doesn't have as big a deadlift as some of these other ladies.
Wow. That was a great second attempt for Skelton.
This opening deadlift is not just a placeholder. If it isn't a placeholder, holy smokes, her deadlift must have blown up in training. If it is a placeholder, where are we actually going to be? The deadlifts a lot of things can change up in the deadlift event. You know this with certain people being subtotal artists.
Well, she did 195 in American Nationals, which was a long way ahead already of what she'd done in the past.
And that's why that 190, I don't think you're going to go up 2.5 kilo to the second and third.
Sure.
But I have, crazier things have happened.
She's about to attempt about a 10 kilo competition.
Well, this is it. That's why.
On bench press. Who does that?
I know. So this is why. I don't know. It'd be crazier things have happened. That's all I could say.
No. I think she jumped.
It's a 7.5 kilo jump, but I think you're right. She jumped it, realized she did, tried to bring it back down. You're not going back up after that. It's kind of all or nothing.
So she's still in the lead with 125 ahead of Skelton, ahead of Bernardi, who is matched now with Supernets for bench. I wonder if we'll get to look at the standings overall.
He's loaded, 97.5 kilos.
And that's where we are at subtotal at the moment, with Skelton leading only 5 kilos ahead of Scanlon. And they're pulling out a little way now ahead of Bernardi, and Supernets has moved into 4th ahead of Naldy.
But Bernardi's got a deadlift on her. So does Naldy.
So here we go now with Annie Nelson. She missed this last time. She put in such a fight for it. That's going to have tired her out, used up a lot of energy.
Oh!
It's better.
Wow, it's way better. Oh, wow.
I think she's got it.
What a fighter, Annie Nelson.
Fantastic. 3 white lights for Annie Nelson.
Holy smokes. That is impressive because it looked like she missed her second on strength. And usually the saying is, you can correct technical when she needs it. It's there.
So Stina Lindell now for 100. Her 97.5 for a second was tough. And I think this matches her current best. Well, I think that looked better than a second.
Yeah, sometimes you just need to feel the pressure a little bit. When you come out for your thirds, everybody's a little more serious about it. Not that you're going to take your second less serious, but you try to manage your intensity. They'll come in with these romantic attachments to the big PBs in your back of your head, looking past some lifts. It's a common mistake.
So we have your girl Emily out on the platform right now for 100 kilos.
Home nation and from the same hometown, doing us proud. Ooh.
And she's a fighter too.
She's also a fighter, but just a little too much. Still got 97.5 kilo and a Canadian national record on her second attempt.
So here's Sarinaldi, first year in the Open, and she's fighting at the front. 102.5 on the bar. But both her benches so far have looked tough.
Hand gets the lift off, and then we'll drop her butt down to the bench. Nope.
Nothing there. Leaves her the best of 100. She really needs to start squeezing some kilos out if she's going to stay in contention.
Yeah, going 2 for 2 in squats, 2 for 2 in bench, all is not lost. If she can go 3 for 3 in deadlifts, you could still be winning this 7 for 9. It's not a terrible day by any means, but this pack is just so close. It's costly to miss any kilos.
Now here we have the second attempt at 105 from Sidney Belden. Wow.
Again, a lifter misses, come back, hits it. You start having faith in these ladies now that
absolutely.
you've seen it enough times.
And next we have Pantea Supernex from Austria. She's coming out for 112.5 to move ahead of Bernardi and take the bronze in bench.
Now her 110 for a second equaled her personal best, but looked like it was everything she had. This is only 2.5 kilo up. It'll be a 2.5 kilo personal best. She's going to have to kick it into another gear. But no.
Unfortunately not.
No lift, I'm afraid. No lift for Supernet. 115.
Which means that Bernardi is guaranteed the bronze medal now, regardless of whether she makes the 115 on her second try at it or not.
Speaking of bronze medal, if the projected is to be believed, that means you have to believe the deadlift openers. She's pacing for bronze, but again, that is if you believe the deadlift openers, and I suspect there might be some movement, and then who's opening too heavy and is close to top end, who's opening relatively light, and they're going to make big movements in the deadlift event. There's a lot at stake, and this is 5 kilos she could really use, both in the bench event and the bigger picture. Oh, wow. Again, it happens.
Yeah, I mean, you have to wonder what happened on the second there, because that was so easy.
That was a personal best, so she adds 2.5 kilo to her previous personal best. And just like that, is 3 times a lifter missed their second, looking like it was on strength, coming back and hitting it. You start believing, if you're in the back, you know, you start believing the positive momentum.
It's giving us quite a checkerboard effect on the scoreboard.
Yeah.
And here's Iris Scalton, Netherlands. 120 kilos. This will be a 7.5 kilo personal best.
We are well past her previous personal best. I don't know. Oh my gosh.
And I think she had more. Wow.
She might have. Yeah, I'm interested. I might even ask her what is
absolutely.
the secret here.
So that gives her the bench silver.
Can it happen again?
Well, it's happened every time so far.
So look at numbers lie sometimes, but patterns you trust.
So here is Scanlon. This will really push her out in front if she can do it. You can see from the graphic at the bottom that she missed this last time.
And I'm going to say, honestly, the 132.5 second attempt, it actually did look like, you know, she jumped the command, brought it back down, was going to try to do it again. It was
yeah,
just,
I think so.
It's not a strength thing. I think she can hit this. Oh, she did it again, though.
Jumped it. And you're right, the strength was there. She jumped the command. That's a real shame. She's left keel. Oh, I'm looking at the projector there. We've got on screen at the moment the bench standings. So Scanlon takes the gold, Shelton the silver, and Bernardi the bronze. But if we can look at the overall, Skelton is leading in the subtotal ahead of Scanlon, ahead of Bernardi. But on projected, Scanlon and Skelton are both on 495.
We'll keep you tuned. Obviously, we're going to take a short break before the deadlifts, but I am very interested if some of these deadlift openers are going to move. Even if they don't, how much movement beyond that will these lifters do if they're big jumps, small jumps? Don't go anywhere. The dramatic conclusion for the 63 kilo class is just moments away. We will be back in just over 9 minutes.
And this competition presented by Eleiko and SBD, without whose sponsorship we could not put on these competitions. And we are here in the 50th anniversary year of the IPF. We are through to the deadlift part of the competition now in the 63 kilo class, and if you have missed the competition up to now, the big news is Leah Bavoil is out. She did not make weight. So we have the bench standings for you at the moment, with Megan Scanlon ahead of Schalton, ahead of Bernardi. And the subtotals up on your screen right now. Elias Shelton of Netherlands is leading the way ahead of Megan Scanlon of the USA, ahead of Kiara Bernardi of Italy. But there is absolutely nothing in it all the way through the field. And we've had quite the big shock even before we got started today, Ryan.
And the surprises have continued. We've seen hits and misses all over the board here. It appeared as though, Bernardi being the favorite based on her previous total. Not only was she the number one nomination, but even her nominated total wasn't her top end. But coming into the deadlifts on the projected, now we have Iris and Megan Scanlon on the projected anyways, ahead of her. However, here's another shocker. Megan Scanlon's previous deadlift best, 195. We have a 190 for her opener. A little bit surprising there, but I don't know.
She's looked strong though. She made some technical errors on her bench. So she jumped the command, but she was strong enough to do 132.5, which was a big PB on what she's done previously.
Right.
So she's definitely coming into this competition really strong. She still has time to put that 190 down, because we are running 2 flights, and this is the first flight. So we still have a few minutes left for her to put that down.
Yeah, and who knows? Her deadlift might have shut up. There has been some surprises. I'm sure we're going to see even more once the deadlift event for the second flight begins.
So we are underway, and Sora Gaba. She struggled on bench. She's opening her deadlift on 150. Unfortunately, can't make a total. You have to register a lift in each of the 3 lifts, squat, bench, and deadlift, to make a total. $10 kilos below her current PB. So that looks good. She's on Denmark for the same weight. Nice, very nice. That was a great conventional deadlift. And we have Amy Lee Owen from New Zealand coming out for the same weight next.
Amy Lee has hit 165 kilo previously. Pretty easy work there.
Yeah, that was nice. Her PB is all the way up at 170. So this should move well.
And it does. As soon as these ladies hit their opening deadlift, their total is solidified. They're no longer in danger of bombing out. Now they can start covering ground if they need to.
Steve. Relatively wide stance for conventional. but she handled it with ease.
Right light and good lift for De Silva, 160, 165 on the bar.
Alanko from Finland, opening with 165.
Bar is loaded. 165 kilos, Alanko, Finland.
Alanko has hit 177.5 previously. Expecting this to give no major troubles. Nicely done.
Good lift, you are nicer. Alanko, 170 on the bar now, Deshawn Larrymore, US Virgin Islands. Bar is loaded.
Deshawn Larrymore, USVI, is now opening her deadlift with 170. I think that's definitely her lift.
Good lift, you are nicer. Larrymore at 170, 172.5 on the bar. And Gunas, Iceland. Bar is loaded.
And next out we see Anna Gonadote from Iceland for 172.5. What will the referees make of that? What do you think, Ryan?
I want to see the slow-mo replay. I'm going to have to agree.
I think there was, she got a red and a blue, so there was a little bit of supporting and problems with lockout, which I can see both perspectives, really. But that puts her under pressure now, having missed her opener. And we have Sai Laleem Belgium for the same weight, 175.
I love it. Get intense. Get ready. Makes easy work of it, too.
Good lift, you white light. Badalian at 175 kilos. Next weight on the bar is 160 kilos.
Is coming out for 160.
Yeah, it's a relatively quick turnaround because I know I noticed that in the last session when it came to the deadlifts, the spotters and loaders are real quick with the deadlift loads. The speed picks up as we near the end of the competition, and the action heats up as well.
So here's Gaba, home country lifter. She just looks delighted to be here.
She can't register a total, but she can get all 3 attempts in the deadlifts and take in the experience. Picks up another 10 kilo added to her deadlift.
Emma Badalian now from Denmark, also for 160. I think we have quite a few lifters moving up from 150 to 160. Next lifter out for 160 is Lee Owen, New Zealand.
Amy Lee's previously hit 165. Again, New Zealand having been in heavy lockdowns, that could be an old personal best. Likely well beyond that.
Push the knees out. Knees out, chest up. Chest up. 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 Good.
60 on the bar. Jana Alanko, Norway. Bar is loaded. 160 kilos. Jana Alanko, Norway.
Same weight remains for Gina Bakker-Bolstad.
And we are 10 kilo below her previous personal best. She took a 10 kilo jump from her opener. Expecting this to fly and possibly another 10-kilo jump.
South Africa.
And now Daniella De Silva is coming out to match her current best of 170.
Bars loaded, 170 kilos, De Silva, South Africa.
This will match her previous personal best. Ooh, slow and steady.
I'm not sure how much more is that. I definitely wouldn't put more than 2.5 on it.
Well, that's the thing.
So, Gonadote from Iceland, you described it as experiencing turbulence. She was very shaky on her opener and had it turned down by 2 of the 3 referees. So let's hope she can make a better job of it this time.
She's hit 10 kilo over this. It's within her means.
I'm not certain.
Are the knees locked? Yeah.
But the transition phase of the lift.
Yeah, the engine is revving. The nervous system's kicking on, and probably sooner than she had expected if she's pulled 10 kilo more than that previously. But she got that out of the way. Her total is solidified. She can take a smaller jump. Don't worry about her personal best now.
Jana Alanko, Finland, 175 on the bar. Decent second attempt.
I agree.
Now here's Deshawn.
It's not a huge jump for a deadlift. Let's see how she handles it. She's pulled 175 before, but not when she had to travel to the other side of the world.
And I think that weight just got out in front of her. So if we see that back from the replay, I think it was just too far in front. Yeah, her hips rise, she leans out, and once the weight's so far out in front of you, you're not getting that back.
Yeah, you want it to ride up those shins. Let it leave its mark.
Sai Laleem now for 185. Thinking she's working her way up through the range of I don't think she was quite through.
The thing is, she had that, I don't know if she thought she heard it down or what, but the hard work was done. She got it up.
Now when she's used up too much energy, I think she wasn't quite through. And
gotcha.
yeah, she thought she was putting it down. But how much energy she used up doing that pull? Can she do it again? And already it's the 3rd round of deadlift, and Lee Owen is coming out for 165.
165 kilos, Lee Owen, New Zealand. Starting the 3rd round.
She's hit this before.
And she's got some fight, but it wasn't quite there.
And that was close. I mean, that's a good attempt selection. She was ever so close just at the lock.
Bars loaded, 167.5 kilos. Gaba.
Next out, Sora Gaba. Gone up 7.5 from her second. This is 165. I'm sorry, 167.5.
It'll be a 7.5 kilo personal best. And if she hits a personal best here, can help the sting, relieve the sting a little bit off the bombing out.
But I think it was just a step too far.
No lift for Gaba. She never stopped smiling though. 167.5 on the back. 4 attempts to change flight 2 openers. 4 attempts.
Little bit of ramping, should be fine.
Yeah, it's
clean. Remains in the bar, 167.5 kilos. You in the back of All-Star. Go.
Next lift round for the same weight is well, it was untidy,
See the lights.
but it's a good lift and she's delighted with that.
172.5 on the bar now. Daniela De Silva, South Africa.
With Dani De Silva, South Africa, for 172.5. This will be a 2.5 kilo personal best.
And a small and rare 2.5 kilo jump in the deadlift event. But when the end comes sooner than you expected, you take whatever kilos are on the table.
But unfortunately, that wasn't on the table today.
There is no lift for De Silva. 175 on the bar now for Gunas, Dottie, Iceland.
She gets really shaky midway through the pull.
172.5 looked like the limit, but she's got one more attempt left. Might as well try to squeeze out another 2.5 kilo out of her body for the day. It'll give her an even 400 kilo total.
That would be a good thing to take home.
Again, last chance to change openers. Flight 2.
I've just seen a whole load of changes go in for the second flight.
We'll see. I haven't seen any updates yet, but Iris.
Yeah. So that was a good lift for Gonadote. Leaves her with a 400 kilo total. But yeah, you're absolutely right. I think Naldy and Bernardi have both gone up.
200 kilo, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we knew Bernardi and Naldy both have bigger deadlifts than Iris and Scanlon.
And I can see a change going in for Scanlon.
Yeah, that's Team America there.
So Deshawn Larrymore on the platform right now, USVI. She missed this last time, but I think she just let the weight get away from her. Made a better attempt at it this time. Can she keep it moving?
Tons of heart, though.
Unfortunately not.
So that is no lift for Larrymore. 182.5 on the bar now. Jana Alanko, Finland.
But we now have 3 lifters, all with projected totals of 495.
It's the thing is that's after openers, and some of these ladies Well, it seems opening quite high,
Yeah.
but
There's a lot on the table today.
I guess this is where if some of these lifters start missing in their second and thirds, and some other people who played a tighter game catch up.
And that's a tough lockout for Jana Alanko.
Nope.
No lift there for 182.5.
Great effort though. Movement over there at the table, and
But it's too late. We have one lift to go in the first flight, so it's too late.
yeah, I'm not sure what the discussion was.
There was an issue with whether or not the Finnish coach got his attempt in his change in on time, but there is no change from the American team. And this is the last lift in the first flight. Sai Laleem Belgium. Second attempt at 185.
Sai is going to change her name to Scream Laleem. Forgive me.
She didn't do it this time. Oh, there it is. There it is.
Yeah, it's coming. That was definitely better. Did she get the down command?
She definitely got the down command.
Okay, good. Nicely done.
And she gets 185.
Nicely done. You know what? I was kind of you had said, did she empty the tank on the last one? It
Yeah.
sort of appeared like she might have, but showing a lot of heart in the final pull of the day.
So we move into the second flight with everything on the table here now.
Yeah. We have 3 lifters with a projected 495 as soon as they hit their openers. That is an extremely tight race.
And remind me what they need to hit to get an automatic selection for Sheffield?
521 kilo,
Wow.
and that might be the reason why they're pacing so heavy.
Yeah. But that was Stina Lindell making short work of 167.5.
Solidifying her total
Just
and
having
getting
a
on the
few
board.
problems with the referee's lights.
She doesn't want to walk off the platform.
Bar is loaded, 175 kilos, Zerlinden, Canada.
Next out, Emily Zerlinden, Canada, opening with 175. Oh wow, that was super easy.
Yeah.
Good lift, 3 white lights, good lift for Zerlinden. Next weight on the bar, 182.5 kilos, Sidney Belden, Norway.
Very heavy. But here's Senior Belden, Norway for 182.5.
I mean, it doesn't seem like a lot of room to grow from the opener to second to third for the deadlift event for some of these lifters, but nice pull there.
Yeah, that was very nice.
But you never know. I mean, training for deadlifts might have gone extremely well for some of these individuals.
Okay. Thumbs. Last 2 to 1, no lift.
No lift. I missed the replay because I was watching the referees.
Netherlands.
So unfortunately, I missed quite what happened there. We have a technical issue with our referees' lights. But here is Shelton Skelton from the Netherlands, opening with 182.5. Current best is 192.5.
Again, you would see on the surface that's pretty close to the limit for an opener, but look what she did on bench. She's having a banner day. Let's see.
Just a little bit of pause at lockout.
Uh-oh.
I looked at the lights, but they're just being reset. That was a good lift
Okay.
for Irish Scalin. We looked up just to see all the coloured.
I was gonna say,
reds,
somebody
yeah,
just-
on the referees' decisions. And here's Annie Nelson. She's got quite a nice deadlift on her. She's opening with 190.
Yeah, Annie can pull. She's previously pulled 205. So this is more of what I would expect in an opener. Hit something like 190, something in the mid-pack, and then 205 or a little more. And that's kind of more what I would expect.
Very nice indeed there. for
And-
Annie Nelson.
And this is where, some ladies are opening too heavy and start missing second and thirds and it starts taxing them. Someone like Annie Nelson, who's playing a little more conservative game and starts catching ground near the end. Now, we don't know.
Absolutely. Leave some in the tank for your third pull. Don't use it all up. on your
Deadlifts
first.
heavily tax you. You only have so many big end deadlifts in there.
Now this will be interesting. This is Megan Scanlon coming out for 190, and her best lift so far is Ryan.
195.
Wow.
But if she just smokes this and make it look like an opener should, oh my goodness, does she have a potential huge total in her back pocket. Something misload.
Okay.
Well, I'm glad they caught it before she pulled it.
Still, it does throw you off as a lifter. So it's part of the package as an athlete, though, isn't it? Being able to settle the nerves, go out again.
I tell you what, a veteran like Megan Scanlon is not going to be rattled very easily. She's been in massive battles at US Nats, IPF Worlds. Oh, wow.
Look at that smile.
Oh, wow. So, maybe 195 is no longer the top end pull. You know, I was looking at her Instagram and I didn't see any top end singles, but that's what some people do. They hide their cards.
Yeah, absolutely. But then we saw Maria T yesterday. Her opener was absolutely superb. She came out for 10 kilos more, couldn't move it.
And, you know, this is the thing. There's a lot more lifting to go.
And we have Pantea Supernets from Austria. She was nominated in 7th. But this is a big opener.
Yeah, it's 5 kilo below her personal best, and that didn't move like an opener usually would.
No, seems to be maybe she's just a little bit out of position at the top, just here, and then had to pull back in. But maybe that's her style. I'm not really familiar with her as a lifter.
I mean, this is a lot of these ladies are opening rather heavy, and they're not necessarily moving like you think openers would. Annie Nelson's and Megan Scanlon's moved very well. Let's see.
But here's, speaking of opening heavy, here's Sarinaldi with 200.
Now she's hit 210, but again, 5 kilo jumps isn't very big in the deadlift. Let's see how this moves, though. Okay.
Wow.
All right.
That moved like an empty bar.
Yeah, she's going to cover some ground.
For the same weight. This will move her up into 2nd place. So once we've got this lift on the board, we can take a look at where we are in the standings. Definitely more there.
It's tough to say because some people just smoke openers and it is going to be quick and snappy. Other people, even if it's an opener, it's not quick and snappy. So put it this way, I'm not alarmed.
So we've got on the screen at the moment the deadlift standings, and we've gone through now to the totals. So we have Scanlon, Bernardi and Skelton all on 495, with Naldy a little bit behind and Supernets just nipping at her heels. So second round, Stina Lindell, Finland for 175.
And if you're wondering, if all of them get their second lifts, they're still locked together in a three-way tie, 505. So right to the last deadlift. This is going to be incredibly dramatic finish.
That was a good lift for Lindell, and we have Emily Zerlinden from Canada coming out now for 185.
185 kilos, Zerlinden, Canada.
A little bit slow off the floor, accelerates to lockout.
Good lift for Zerlinden. Next round of art, 187.5 kilos of Belden, Norway.
It's, I'm not sure why she missed 182.5, so fair enough. But if you miss 182.5 on technicality, not strength, and then you miss 187.5 on strength because her previous personal best is 190, 182.5 is not close to her limit. 187.5 is. This is a bit of a gamble. I think she's got it.
I think the gamble's paid off.
I think so. Sure. Hand over her chest, please.
So she's on the board, moves her up to 6th place. Yeah.
Best deadlift.
But first we have Iris Scalin from Netherlands for 192.5. This matches her best, and this to take the lead.
10-kilo jump, and that's about what you'd expect in the deadlifts. You could even see bigger than that. Percentage-wise, 10 kilos isn't obviously nearly as big as squat and certainly not the bench.
And it's a tough lockout.
Are her shoulders back? What do the judges say? Yes.
2-1, a good lift.
It's going to be difficult to add more kilo on there, though. She's starting to run a total just that alone. If she could add another 2.5 kilo, some of these other ladies are going to start missing lifts.
Well, she's put herself at the front of the pack as well, and that's a good place to be. If the rest of the lifters miss, she's in first place.
And I think we're going to start seeing some misses, not just in the third, but right now in the seconds, we're going to see some misses because these ladies are really pushing the envelope on deadlifts.
Here's Pantea Supernets to move ahead of Naldy with 197.5. But it's tough and it's not going to go.
She's pretty tough herself, but yeah.
The referee took pity on her and gave her the down command because that was not going.
And I think she emptied the tank, so this is the second round only, and it'd be very difficult.
Megan Scanlon. Will this move her into it will move her into the lead.
On body weight.
200 on the bar, so this is a 5-kilo personal best.
3 top lifters, if they all get their second, all have 505, but Megan is the lighter lifter of the 3, so she will move ahead on body weight, which is just fine for her. If you win on body weight, still a win. She's done it, and that is a personal best for Megan.
When the lights come up, that's a good lift, and she takes the lead.
So how many more kilo do you think? I wouldn't go too much more. Iris went up. Now you could change your second attempt, but Iris went up 7.5 kilo. She could change that last attempt, twice.
Yeah, so she's put 200 on for a third, but I don't think that would be there. I think that's a placeholder. She's going to wait to see where everyone else is. And here's Annie Nelson for 205 to match her current best and to move into first place on deadlift.
Oh, wow, Annie Nelson.
Wow.
Oh, did she get the down command in time?
I think her grip was going. Yeah. Unfortunately, it was slipping out of her hand, which is a real shame.
It was such a beautiful lift until right here it's starting to come out of her hand, and I think she might have beat the down command.
I think at the point where it's coming out of your hand, even if you've got the down command, you have to return the bar to the platform under control, and if it's coming out of your hand...
Some of these other ladies are going to start missing their thirds. If she can pace herself and hit her third, and I think she is going to pace herself to hit her third based off of that. Look it's not how you start, it's how you finish when you walk into the deadlift event. And I think a lot of these ladies are going to start missing thirds, and she might be in position, even though she's currently in fourth, to get onto the podium.
Well, I think she may well have another 10, which would move her ahead of Bernardi, but let's see if Bernardi can make this lift. She's also come out for 210. And her opener looked harder than Naldy's.
And Sarah will be fresher when she has to make that big pull. Less taxed. But Kiara is a fighter. Wow, I told you she's a fighter. She did not let down. 2 white lights.
2-1 a good lift. She got a blue card from one of the side referees.
Okay, so look at that's got to be close to top end.
She locked out very early there, but I don't think she's got much more there.
It's these ladies, hats off to them. They're locking out deadlifts in the second attempts that, you know, walking in, they were very heavy lifts. I don't know what's going to happen in the thirds, though.
So there are the deadlift standings, but I think we're more interested right now in the overall. So Scanlon on 505, Bernardi on 505, Scalin on 505. This is anybody's game. Stina Lindell for 180 now.
Yeah, I think Sarinaldi, she might be too far back.
It's a tough one. What do the referees make of it? Good lift. She got all 3 of her deadlifts in. And she went 8 for 9. That's a good day on the international platform. Sidney Belden out next for 192.5.
So looking at the 3 ladies in a deadlock, Kiara is the one who's going to pull last. Even though she's right at the brink, she might only need 2.5 kilo, depending on if these other ladies miss their lifts or hit it. Yeah. The benefits of being the bigger deadlifter.
The deadlifter always has the power. So here's Belden. She's gone up 5 from her second. And it's just too much. Leaves with a 467.5 kilo total. London, Canada for 192.5. That's a great third deadlift.
It is. Very well done. Excellent day by Emily for Canada. Breaking some national records. 3 white lights. Just looking at the scoreboard here, I think Iris is going to pull at her limit, which is the appropriate pull to make. And then Bernardi gets the pull last, so then the pressure's on Scanlon to try to hit her third. And they got to make that decision.
I think you're right. You take the kilos you can get.
Right. I think Netherlands is doing the appropriate move here. Putting the lifter in the best possible situation to become a world champion.
So the first thing she's got to do is move into the lead, and then she'll have a tense few minutes in the back waiting to see if anyone goes past. Battle. Not quite there. She can't do better than third now, and she may come under pressure from Naldy.
Yeah, I don't know if Naldy's got a big enough deadlift to close that gap, but she might have nothing to lose.
Second was superb.
Right, well, if they decide we got nothing to lose, load up, we want a medal.
I mean, currently they've only got 2.5 kilos on her, but I think she's got more in the tank.
Yeah.
First up, Pantea Supernets, Austria, coming out for a second attempt at 197.5.
Oh, knees locked early. But her back is so strong. Oh, my goodness. I can't believe.
I'm in shock that she got that to the top.
Just through willpower.
2-1, a good lift.
I mean, her knees were
all the way in front of her.
Just refusing to be denied.
Yeah.
That's what that was.
So she's 5th place right now.
Got overturned. Did it get overturned? Is that where the crowd is?
I heard, yes, it got overturned.
Yeah.
Yeah, we heard the groan go up from the crowd before we saw the scoreboard change. So that was no lift for Supernets. She's on 472.5. And we have Annie Nelson coming out now for 205 again. That will give her provisionally a deadlift bronze and move her rank up to from 8th to 5th.
She can go home with some hardware. Look, she all but had this deadlift.
Just keep hold of it. Keep hold of it.
Oh!
That's a real shame for Annie Nelson. Gives her a 460 total and 8th place.
And we're seeing a lot of failures in the third, which we expected. These women are pushing themselves. Only 2 successful third attempts so far.
So next out we have the lady in the lead, Megan Scanlon.
Bernardi to pull afterwards.
Yeah. So Bernardi's going to wait to see what she does.
Megan has her on body weight, so Bernardi needs to out-total her. Can't match. Oh! No.
Just a bit too much. So she's still in first place with 505, but there are 2 lifters.
Respect.
Sarinaldi went up. So how does this work out? So Naldy has the lower lot number, so has to go first if it's the same weight. But she's the lighter body weight. So
But
Bernardi can't.
she's not really pulling for a position. She's going to rest in 4th outside the podium.
You're right. You're right.
She's got the gold medal.
That's surprising
for
because
deadlift.
her second looked very easy.
It's just such a big ask to try to get on a podium. She's so far back.
And look at that. Her
Oh,
second
wow.
was so easy. The third won't break from the floor. Gives her 487.5. Paddy, the Italian lifter, in her first year in the seniors, can she come past Megan Scanlon and take the gold medal?
Look at her 210. Looked like it was the limit.
But when there's a world title on the line,
2.5 kilo away from an open world championship. Talk about a dramatic ending to the 63 kilo world championships.
pulling for the world title.
A phenomenal show by the 63 kilo women, though.
That was so close all the way through. In fact, if we can see the final standings. Yeah, that was a gutsy effort there from Kiara Bernardi, but not quite there on the day. So Naldy takes the deadlift gold, Bernardi the deadlift silver, and Scanlon the deadlift bronze. But the real prize, the World Championship title, goes to Megan Scanlon, silver to Bernardi, and Scalin takes the bronze medal.
What?
All on 5:05.
Listen, what a phenomenal comeback by Megan Scalin of the U.S. to come back after all these years and capture a world title. Who would have thought? This is what happens in sports sometimes. Now she's a little bit shy of that 521 to go to the Sheffield, but
You never know if she might get a place on countback on a wild card.
who knows? The door is at least open. The conversation can be had, and she is the 2022 63 kilo world champion, Megan Scalin, and Kiara Bernardi, fresh out of the juniors, now taking a silver medal at the IPF World Championships in the Open, and Iris from the Netherlands tying her with a 505, but on body weight in the bronze medal.
We have the medal ceremony coming up. I hope you'll stick around for that. And then we have more action for you tonight. 7 p.m. we have the 69 kilo and the 83 kilo A groups. Join us then.
last one, perhaps. Spotters and loaders, we need a podium, please, right now. So just give us a few moments and we will have a podium in just 1 second. This is what's known as just-in-time delivery. But really that has been an absolutely special competition, and to remind you all once again that we are live on Eurosport 1 at 7 PM tonight. So please, you want to be in the audience for this one to get your voices heard and to give the best atmosphere for Eurosport. Just need one more, lads. Just one more. Sorry to keep you waiting, ladies. Find me in the bar like there, I'll buy you a drink. No all rush. Thank you, gentlemen. A round of applause for the spotters and loaders, please. And now it is time to present the medals, first of all for the individual lifts. Squat first, taking the bronze medal with 180 kilos from Italy, Kiara Bernardi. The USA, Scanlon. And the gold medal on squat with 192.5 from the Netherlands, Shelton. Great job, ladies. Thank you. When we got the photos, thank you. And now we move to bench press. In bronze medal position with 115 kilos from Italy, Kiara Bernardi. Taking the silver medal with 120 kilos from the Netherlands, Shelton. With 25 kilos from the USA, Scanlon. Well done, ladies. Everyone got the photos, thank you. And now to the deadlifts. In bronze medal position with 200 kilos from the USA, Scanlon. Taking the silver medal with 210 kilos from Italy, Kiara Bernardi. And the gold medal on deadlift, also with 210 kilos, from Italy, Sarinaldi. Now it is time to present the overall medals and to crown the new world champion. Look at those numbers. In bronze medal position, with 505 kilos, from the Netherlands, Shelton. In silver medal position, with 505 kilos, from Italy, Kiara Bernardi. And your new world champion on bodyweight, with 505 kilos, from the USA, Megan Scanlon. For the national anthem of the United States
Everybody, please.
of America. Great job, ladies. Well done. Honestly, I have never seen any closer than that. The only way it could have been closer is if the body weights were closer. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause, please, for these ladies as they follow the technical controller from the platform.